Here's more wrestling news for February 28th, 2022. And your headlines for this afternoon include: two-time former WWE Champion weighs in on Cesaro's departure from WWE. WWE Hall of Famer says The Undertaker doesn't want to be inducted into the Hall of Fame on his own. Max Caster makes reference to Vladimir Putin on AEW Rampage, edited out of the broadcast. Kane Jacobs under fire for controversial response to the Russia-Ukraine crisis, AEW Champion responds. Why did WWE take so long to have Xia Li wrestle on SmackDown? Backstage reaction to Buddy Matthews' debut on AEW last week. NWA World Heavyweight Champion Matt Cardona adds another title to his collection, and more. We're kicking off with Cesaro, who left WWE last week after a decade signed to the company. Despite being an incredible athlete, WWE never saw Cesaro as world champion material, despite countless fans wanting to see the Swiss cyborg finally win the big one. Drew McIntyre is a name who WWE definitely sees as a champion, and on the In the Click podcast, the two-time former WWE champion said it's a shame he left. McIntyre also pointed out that despite them both wrestling for decades, they've never had a one-on-one match and would still love to see this happen, even if it means waiting a while longer. We can't say for sure what Cesaro's next move is, but Drew is confident the former United States champion will succeed, saying he's far too talented not to be okay. Cesaro has left WWE without a non-compete clause, meaning he could appear for any promotion as soon as the deal is signed, but we'll just have to wait and see where the incredibly gifted ex-superstar calls home next. On April 1st, The Undertaker will take his rightful place in the WWE Hall of Fame after 3 decades of loyalty to the company. Not only one of WWE's biggest stars, but the Phenom never jumped to an opposing promotion throughout his incredible career, and many have said that The Undertaker deserves to be inducted in a class of his own. One name who doesn't agree with this, however, is Booker T, a 2-time Hall of Fame inductee himself, and speaking on his appropriately named Hall of Fame podcast, Booker explained why the dead man should be inducted alone. I don't think The Undertaker would actually want to do something like that. Come up and tell stories all night. Guys get up there and then they don't want to leave. I'm sure The Undertaker is going to want to come out, say what he has to say, and he's going to want to get the hell up out of there. The Undertaker is deserving of a solo induction, but it'll ultimately be his and Vince McMahon's decision. But for now, the Phenom is the only name confirmed for this year's ceremony. Over to AEW, as Max Caster has never shied away from controversy during his freestyle raps, which has got the acclaimed star in some pretty hot water in the past. After Caster referenced Simone Biles' mental health and the Duke lacrosse controversy last year, Tony Khan stated that he'd be taking over the editing for some AEW shows, and now a line from Caster has been cut. As revealed by fans online, Caster's rap from this week's Rampage included a line about the ongoing Russia-Ukraine crisis, as Caster said, "Play with the acclaimed, you gotta be stupid. This guy's as popular as Vladimir Putin." This line about the Russian president didn't make it into the broadcast, but the rest of the rap before Anthony Bowen's match against Orange Cassidy remained untouched. The ongoing crisis is certainly a serious matter, as people are losing their lives daily due to Russia's invasion, and we can only hope it ends very soon. Russia's invasion of Ukraine has been a major talking point around the world for the past week, but not everyone's thoughts on the matter have been well received. On Twitter, Kane Jacobs, aka Kane, had an interesting take, saying that when it comes to Putin's invasion, quote, "might makes right." Jacobs also used the matter to attack those on the left wing of politics and was bashed in the replies to his tweets for this approach. The former Kane's tweet even got a response from AEW World Heavyweight Champion Hangman Adam Page, who replied with a link to a UNICEF website to support children in Ukraine and a crisis relief fund people can donate to give support. The final part of Page's tweet was more directly aimed at the Big Red Machine, as he posted a video of 10 chair shots to the head Kane took in his career, implying that his attitude on this matter has been influenced by years of brain-scrambling shots to the dome. With one of the largest, if not the largest militaries in the world and a fortune spent on the armed forces, the US could certainly do a lot of good should troops be sent to Ukraine, but according to Jacobs, that's the opposite of what should happen. SmackDown news now, as Xia Li made her long-awaited in-ring debut last Friday, picking up a victory over Natalya. WWE had initially planned on Li making her debut back in early December of last year, but it was only until nearly 3 months later that she got the chance to wrestle on the blue brand. According to Fightful, Li's delayed in-ring debut wasn't down to an injury of any kind, but that WWE simply didn't have any creative plans for her on the show. This is a worrying start for Li, and she's not the only call-up from NXT to have been moved without any plans for the main roster. Hopefully, the fact that she wrestled this week is a sign that WWE now have a creative plan for her, but we can't count out that WWE just felt like they'd waited long enough and had her wrestle, still without a plan for her character. Picking up a win over Natalya is a solid start for Li, but one that came 3 months after it was meant to, and we can only hope something is in place for the talented Chinese superstar. NXT 2.0 news now, and we're sending our congratulations to Ivy Nile of the Diamond Mine, who is now engaged. On social media, Nile shared a picture with her fiancé after the proposal, and judging by the ring on her finger, the NXT 2.0 superstar obviously said yes. Recently, Nile teamed with Tatum Paxley, but lost to Kaden Carter and Kacy Catanzaro in the first round of the 2022 Women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. But despite this setback, Ivy Nile is celebrating on this joyous occasion. Over to AEW now, as Buddy Matthews debuted for the company last weekend, aligning himself with Malachi Black and Brody King. Matthews' debut was surprising, as it wasn't too long ago that it was reported that AEW were passing on the former Cruiserweight champion, but that apparently isn't the case. Fightful reports that AEW and Matthews had been in talks since the fall of 2021, and that around the same time, Impact Wrestling had also been in contact with the Australian star, though that obviously didn't lead to anything. Sources note that several members of AEW's roster were well aware he was coming, with some knowing over 3 weeks ago that the former superstar was all elite. Matthews has made a very good impression so far, as there was one moment where he nixed a spot planned for him after learning it involved him using someone else's finisher. AEW officials consider Matthews a team player after this, and with Black and King by his side, the future looks bright for the former WWE Cruiserweight Champion. And we're ending today with Matt Cardona, who has added yet another championship title to his collection. Last weekend, the former Broski captured the NYWC World Heavyweight Champion at their Psycho Circus event, and on Instagram pointed out that NYWC is the same promotion he started his wrestling training at back in 2003. Given the hostile response from the crowd who booed his title win over Michael Mistretta, Cardona also said that this may be the last time he competes in an NYWC ring, despite being their champion. Cardona now has 6 titles to his name, as he's also the AIW Intense and AIW Absolute Champion, FWF Champion, Impact Wrestling's Digital Media Champion, and the reigning NWA World's Heavyweight Champion. A former jobber in WWE, being released from the company in April 2020 was the best thing to happen to Cardona, who has proven himself as one of wrestling's top stars of the past 2 years. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.